You're a few hours old, and the first thing you learn about the world is that it's already deciding whether you're worth eating. You don't have a name for that feeling. You don't have a name for anything yet. You're a Megalania, a giant monitor lizard, the largest one this continent ever built. And you've just woken up in modern Queensland, a country that spent 40,000 years learning to forget you. Nothing out here remembers what you are. That's not safety. That's an opening. The water in front of you smells like every meal you'll ever need. It also smells like the one thing big enough to eat you back. Right, let's run it. If you like watching extinct things get dropped back into a world that has no idea they're coming, you know the drill. Stick around. Start at the beginning. You come out of an egg buried in warm sand on the dry edge of a billabong, because that's how your kind nests. Eggs tucked into soil and then left. No parent waiting. The first decision you ever make, you make alone. Move or cook. You dig up, out, into light that hits you like a flat hand. You're small, smaller than you'll ever be again. A bird could take you right now. So the first thing your body does well is the thing it'll do best for the rest of your life. It waits. You go still against the dirt and let the world decide you're not there. This is Queensland, present day. Red earth, dry grass, scattered eucalyptus throwing thin shade. It's hot in a way that suits you exactly. You're a reptile. You run on the heat the sun gives you, not heat you make yourself. Cold, you're a log. Warm, you're a problem. You bask until the warmth climbs into your blood. Then you eat whatever doesn't fight back. Insects, a slower lizard, carrion, which out here is everywhere, because something is always dying in the heat. Then you meet the modern world, and none of it makes sense. A straight gray line across the land, hard and flat, with things moving along it faster than anything alive should. A road. You only understand that kangaroos die on it, and a dead kangaroo is a feast you didn't have to catch. Wires strung on posts, cutting the country into squares. Fences. They mean nothing to you. You go under, but they tell you someone runs this place now. And the animals that belong to those people. Cattle, standing dumb and enormous. Feral pigs. Brumbies, goats, every one of them big, soft, slow, and completely without any instinct for you. There hasn't been a land predator your size for 40,000 years. To them, you're just a strange, large goanna by the water. That misunderstanding is the most valuable thing you own. You grow, season over season. Every kill and carcass adds to you. The birds stop being able to take you. The dingoes start keeping their distance, which, out here, is the closest thing to good news you'll get. Field note: this isn't invention. It's the fossil record, and an incomplete one. The animal is real. Venomous priscus. The giant monitor still called Megalania. The largest land-living lizard we have evidence ever existed. Its closest relatives are the Komodo dragon and Australia's goannas. How big it got is genuinely argued over. One study scaled it down toward 4.5 meters. A later one pushed it back to at least 5.5. Older estimates reached for 7. The honest answer is a range, around 3.5 to over 5. Possibly up to 7, and no complete skeleton to settle it. The bones are real. The full size is still an argument. Now you're big enough to stop asking and start taking. There's no day you decide to become a predator. One day, the prey you used to wait beside is suddenly prey you can reach. And your body has finished building the tools. Heavy skull, thick neck, a long muscular tail, and the teeth. Your teeth aren't built to hold. They're built to cut. They curve backwards and the edges are serrated, like small saws set in your jaw. A tooth like that doesn't pin prey. It opens prey, and it leaves a wound that keeps working long after you've let go. Because here's how you hunt. You're not built to win a chase. You're built to start a wound and wait. A feral pig comes down to the water in the late afternoon. You've been a log for 2 hours. The wind is right. You move once, fast, all of it at once, and your jaws take a piece out of its flank. The pig screams and bolts. You don't follow. You watch it go. To anything watching, you just failed. The meal ran off into the scrub, bleeding, alive. You let it.
Then you wait, and the wound does what your teeth couldn't. The pig slows. It stops. It lies down a few hundred meters away and doesn't get up. And when you walk over an hour later, calm, unhurried, the work is done. You didn't need to win the fight. You only needed to start it. The rest, the wound did on its own. A feral pig is a meal. A feral cow is a week. And the rule doesn't change with the size. Bigger prey just means the wound has further to travel. It always arrives. There's a reason that works beyond the blade-shaped teeth. A 2009 study looked closely at your living cousin, the Komodo dragon, and found something nobody expected: a complex venom gland feeding the lower jaw. When the same researchers looked at the teeth of your kind, they found the same grooved, serrated design built to deliver it. The conclusion was blunt. You may be the largest venomous animal that ever lived. What that means on the ground is simple and ugly. The venom keeps the wound bleeding, drops blood pressure, pushes the animal toward shock. A bite that looks survivable isn't. The animal walks away thinking it got lucky. It just hasn't finished dying yet. And out here, that's a cheat code, because nothing knows you're playing it. Modern prey is built to recognize a chase. Something fast comes, you run. You don't play that game. You take one piece and disappear, and the animal escapes and feels safe. And that feeling of safety is the most dangerous thing it'll ever feel. There's no defense against a predator that has agreed to be patient. Nothing here ever developed one. The last thing that hunted like you went into the ground 40,000 years ago. You eat well. You're an apex predator in a country that quietly stopped keeping the position filled and didn't tell anything you were back. Field note: the venom is the part to be careful with. The gland and delivery system are confirmed in the living Komodo dragon. That's measured. For Megalania, it's inferred. The teeth match, the family matches, the reasoning is sound and peer-reviewed. But no one has tested venom on the animal itself, because the animal is bones, and bones don't bleed. So the honest line is, the tooth structure points hard at venom. The living relative confirms the blueprint, and the record stops there. Same caution for almost everything physical about it. Pebbled scales we can confirm. Anything heavier than that, the record stops at the bones. You've spent your whole life as the largest thing that hunts on land out here. You've never met your own weight class.
Then you follow the water north into wetter country where the rivers run year-round, and find the position wasn't as empty as you thought. You smell it before you see it. Something at the waterline that doesn't smell like prey. It smells like a competitor, and there's only one animal in this country that can wear that smell. The saltwater crocodile. The salty. The reptile that took the apex job the day your kind vacated it and has held it ever since. Up to 6 meters of it, a ton of muscle and old patience lying in the shallows exactly where you want to hunt. You're both ambush predators. You both work the water's edge. For 40,000 years, there was only ever one of you at any billabong. Now there are two. You come down to drink. It's already there, half submerged, 2 eyes and a back like a wet log. You don't see a rival, you see a log. That's your mistake. The water explodes. It comes up faster than anything that size should move, and it's faster than you in the water, because the water is its country, not yours. The bite doesn't slice like yours. It holds and does not open. No clean cut to wait on, just pressure, total and immediate, and the cold fact underneath it. If it gets you into deep water, you're not coming back out. It pulls. Every instinct you own says the same word, and for once it isn't wait, it's away. You twist. You're near enough to land, and on land you have weight, 4 good legs, and that heavy tail. You swing it, back off the bank, drag yourself out of the one place where it owns you completely. It can't follow far. It's built for the strike and the roll, not the chase across dry country. You hold the high bank. It holds the water. 2 apex predators, 40,000 years apart, meeting at the one line of ground they both want, and canceling each other out. You back away bleeding from the shoulder. That should have killed you. It didn't. You've learned the one rule modern Queensland still enforces that the rest of the country forgot. The water's edge isn't yours anymore. Down here, you're not the apex. You're the second one, which out here barely rates as a defeat. You walk away, and walking away is the whole victory. And near the end, you meet the one thing in this country that hunts the way you do. From a distance, without warning, no interest in a fair fight. It doesn't come from the water. It comes from a vehicle stopped at the edge of a cattle station, where someone has been watching a shape down by the dam that's far too big to be any goanna they know. You never hear the decision get made. You only feel the country change its mind about you, in a single flat crack of sound that rolls across the paddock and keeps going. It misses this time. The shape melts back into the scrub the way you've melted into everything your whole life. But you've been hunted by a thing you couldn't smell, couldn't outweight, couldn't read at all. You don't have a category for it. The country does. And here's where the simulation runs out of road. Not because something kills you, because the country does the thing it did the first time. The youngest real trace of your kind in Queensland is around 40 to 50,000 years old. Bones and a single piece of armor, dated and argued over. After that, nothing. You and every other giant just stop appearing in the record, more or less together. Why is the part nobody can close? The climate was drying. People had been here for tens of thousands of years, sharing the prey, burning the land. Maybe it was the climate. Maybe it was us. Maybe both, and the giants were too big to adjust fast enough. The teeth are real. The venom is likely. The size is still an argument. And the only thing that finally beat you wasn't the croc or the heat or anything you could bite. It was a country that decided, quietly, to stop building things your size. It hasn't started again. That's the sim. I'll see you in the next one. If you want to know which extinct thing gets dropped into Australia next, that's up to you.
Drop the next creature in the comments. The one with the most replies gets dropped into the country next week. No mercy for the modern wildlife. They had 40,000 years to prepare. Not my problem they didn't.